One.
We are live.
Bam.
Hello.
I promise I'm not passing him illegal drugs. It's just Dayquil. We are quite sick today, guys. Dayquil?
Thank you.
Dayquil for you. Water for you. We're a little sick today, so if our voices sound like Kermit the Frog, that's why. I'm also very winded. We went to this event with my mom on Sunday, and then I immediately came home and recorded on Monday, and I'm re-recording all of Handmade Alpha Academy, which opens June 14th. If you guys are interested in that, there's a link down below where you can learn more about it. But I'm re-recording the entire program, and it's like over 20 hours of recording. And it's a really weird obstacle to have where the only thing limiting you from getting the work done that you know you need to get done is your ability to make sounds come out of your mouth. So it's been very strange. It's very stressful knowing that, like, oh, I just need to talk. That's all I need to do is I need to talk for several hours, which I'm fine doing with you guys. But the voice that you use when you record is a lot different.
Yes, it is.
It's a completely different tone. But anyway, that's why we sound so nasally today, but we're still going to have a lot of fun. Today we're going to be doing SEO, and I'm going to be showing you my exact strategy that I use to optimize listings. I didn't plan anything out ahead of time. I didn't do the keyword research ahead of time. I want you guys to be able to really see how much time it takes realistically to sift through keywords and to find ideas and to basically start from scratch, because I know a lot of you, when you're doing your keyword research, for one, you don't know what to look for. So we're hoping to show you that. For two, a lot of you say, this feels like it takes so much time. It takes just as much time for us. And a lot of you say, this feels like a lot of guesswork. I just don't feel like I know what I'm doing. We work for eRank. It's Etsy's biggest SEO company. We're the same way. You never really know exactly what's going to work until you try it, test it, and give those tests time to actually sit in, because you need to have enough data to analyze after you've run your SEO experiments to be able to figure out what's working. So we'll do questions more towards the end. I don't think that the overall demonstration of this is going to take super duper long. So if you do have questions, just hold on to them for just a few minutes while we get through the demo, because I won't be able to see them because I'll be sharing my screen with you. And then afterwards, you guys can ask us anything. It can be eRank related, SEO related. It can be just Etsy in general, marketing. You guys are free to ask us anything. And this is also, we're almost 2 weeks out from HAA, right?
We are almost 2 weeks out. Here, I got a calendar right here.
Yeah, as of Tuesday.
3rd, 10th, and then 14th. So we are 2 weeks, 3 days away.
I'm not panicking. You're panicking.
Oh, boy.
The course is done. There is a version that's ready. It's just that
we're updating everything.
We want it to sound better with our new microphone.
We are attempting to get the entire thing re-recorded by that time period. By the way, when we screen share, I'll show you guys. We have a Trello board. For those of you that follow Trello, we have a Trello board you guys can watch to follow our development progress. And I'll show you guys that when we go into the live stream. Excuse me, sorry.
He just took his Dayquil. That was the Dayquil capsules popping out.
That's exactly what it was, too. All right, I already have to remove the cat because he's already being destructive. Come here.
All right, guys. So if you want to take notes, make sure that you get a pen and paper out, because I have a feeling that you're probably going to want to take plenty. Today we're going to be focusing on a couple specific areas. Obviously, some of the main questions that you guys always have when it comes to SEO research is, for one, what do you do about high competition? Because it's almost impossible to find keywords anymore that have low competition. And when we were first starting out on Etsy, it was a lot easier. But as the years go on, we've gone, just since the pandemic, from around a million shops on Etsy to over 4 million. And the more people that join Etsy to sell, obviously, the more keywords are going to become competitive, because everyone's going to be using them. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about broad matching versus exact matching. Those are the two different types of matches that you can get for your keywords with the algorithm. And I'm going to be showing you how I personally do my keyword research, the tools that I use, the ones that I find most important while using eRank. Also keeping in mind that everybody is going to have a different keyword strategy. Thank you.
You're so welcome, shorty.
He's got like a little booster seat for my feet because I'm so short. My little legs just hang. But everybody's going to have a different keyword strategy when it comes to Etsy SEO. So the one that you're going to be seeing today is mine. It is the one that I have been using for years. It is the one that works best for me. If you watch some other Etsy YouTuber, they might have a completely different strategy. But this is one that I have developed after years and years of doing Etsy SEO, after working for eRank for several years, and helping hundreds and hundreds of sellers to do their SEO. Also,
I mean, thousands at this point, right?
It has been thousands.
Yeah.
Also keeping in mind that even if something looks great, even if I do these, keywords and show you guys my keyword research strategy, if I were to list products with the keywords that I select today, I would still need to monitor those results for several months to be able to see if my decisions were right. It's all a gamble. It is all a game. You just have to make sure that you are ready to take the time to dedicate to looking at your stats and seeing if the changes that you've made work. Because SEO takes a lot of time. There's no putting in keywords and then waiting overnight to see your progress. That's not how it works. It takes lots of time. It's kind of a set it and forget it thing for a little while. But then you also can't permanently set it and forget it. I have people all the time who will message me and they'll say, oh, this listing, it used to be my best seller. It used to sell every day. Now it doesn't get any sales. I'm like, well, when's the last time you went in and looked at your keywords? Like, has the popularity of your keywords changed? Maybe it's not so much that the product itself isn't in demand, but maybe the way that your shoppers are searching for that product has changed. So you have to stay on top of trends and be willing to actually analyze your results over time and tweak when things go stale. So are we ready? No?
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and get screen share
Okay.
poppin'.
Do we sound really bad? Do we
Do we
sound
sound a little sickies?
Yeah, let me know. I'm so self-conscious because I normally I wouldn't do a stream today being this nasally because I don't like you guys having to hear me sound like this. But with the new algorithm update, which I did a short video on Tuesday. I know that was our subject on on Friday's Q&A, or Friday Bean. So I wanted to make sure that I also created a shorter video for those who didn't want to sit and watch the entire Friday Bean episode. But that's on my channel if you guys aren't up to date on the algorithm change. But basically now Etsy's going to be looking for keywords in your descriptions. But don't rush to go change all your descriptions before you watch the video I did Tuesday, because you might not need to necessarily do that much based on the experiments that we've been doing. So,
all right, so I'll go ahead. I will share this first.
Oh, yeah.
Just so they can check it out. For those of you that don't know, we're working on HAA again, for those of you that are just now getting in here. If you want to see this, do you have this linked down below?
No, I've only given it to students.
Okay. I'll link it in chat. There's nothing in here. This will show you the amount of content that's in the course, if anything. If you're curious, how much content is there in the course? A lot. There is a lot. So this is where we're currently at. If you want to find out where we are as far as re-recording, making web pages, most of this stuff is her recording, and then most of all of this is me making the website. So if you guys want to follow along, I'll link that when we're done. Just remind me, and I will post it in the actual chat once we get done with that. But on to the lesson at hand for the day.
All right, let's do it.
Guys, we
Um,
are on screen top right, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Let me bring my mouse over. Multiple monitors, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So I obviously have an eRank Pro membership. You can totally do the keyword research that we're going to be talking about today with a free membership. eRank has 3 different membership tiers. There is a free membership that has very limited search capabilities. Yep. You will hit your quotas quite fast, but if you're a newbie, I recommend just sticking with the free option until you learn how to really use the tool. There is a basic membership that's $5.99 per month. That one should be good for most of you. Most of you won't need more than that. But there is also an eRank Pro membership that is $10 per month. And that will give you a lot more search capabilities. But Basic and Pro, they both have the exact same tools. It's just you can't use the Basic as much as the Pro. You'll hit your quota a little faster. But for most of you, Basic should be fine. And keep in mind, though we work for eRank, we don't get paid to recommend it. And we only work for eRank because we love it so much. So
Yep.
we're going to be working within our test shop today. That is the Alpha Adapt shop, where you can buy alpha merch and where we run our SEO experiments. But today we're going to pretend that we're doing a completely different listing. Let's pretend that we are optimizing let's do like unicorn color, like blue and pink slime, like, because slime is really popular on Etsy. Our daughter, she loves slime. So we're going to pretend that we're trying to keyword optimize some pink and blue
Unicorn slime.
Fluffy unicorn cotton candy slime. And maybe we'll decide whether or not we should call it unicorn slime or cotton candy slime based on what people search for the most. So if people like unicorn themes more based on the data, then we'll do a unicorn themed. But if not, we could call it cotton candy. So let's go in, and what we're going to want to start with is go into the Tools tab, and we want to go into the Keyword tool. Now, if you watch a lot of my older videos, I always recommend the Keyword Explorer. But over the last few years, we've been getting a lot more data with the Keyword tool. The Keyword tool is going to show you the most data, and it's going to show you a lot of the same things that you see in the Keyword Explorer. In time, the eRank team is actually planning to phase out the Keyword Explorer. So for now, just plan to use the Keyword tool. Now, if you have a Basic or Pro membership, I also highly recommend creating a keyword list to keep your keywords in, and I'll show you how to do that. But let's start with a nice, broad search. When we do keyword research, even though we're going to be trying to optimize for a pink and blue unicorn cotton candy cloud slime, we don't want to start with a search that is that specific, because odds are we're not going to find any good keywords. What we want to do is find the root, and the root is just slime. So
slime.
You can tell that I've searched slime before.
I think we've done it in past videos.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where I think it's best to start. Go as broad as possible just to get your ideas to start with.
So, trend alert, this keyword's been popular on Etsy. So, for all of our slime sellers...
Slime hasn't been not popular in like 5 years.
Yeah, but look at March.
Oh, yeah.
So, slime people, very exciting. Good average searches, good clicks, good click-through rate, and obviously competition is going to be quite high, but we're going to try to narrow it down. So let's go ahead and start us up a keyword list.
Before we do that, because you won't let me in here.
Sorry.
It's okay. If you want to figure out how trends and things are also going, I'm not as big of a fan of Etsy specifically to figure out if something is trending worldwide. This is where one of the data sets that he buys that I actually do like that he gets are the Google data sets. You can actually see whether or not something is trending and whether or not it's just something that's popular on Etsy. Obviously, this is slime, so it's going to have a pretty ridiculous amount of data to go along with it. So we know that slime trends, and of course it trends Christmas time, and it trends when people are going into the fall, birthdays and stuff like that. So
July, kids are out of school, parents are trying to find things to keep their kids
exactly
occupied.
but that if you weren't aware that that's there, we used to have an issue where it would show both, and obviously if you're still getting this, because it does still do this for me occasionally when I do it, if you're ever on here and you see the two bars and you actually want to see the Etsy data, just get rid of the Google data, because it's not relevant to you building your Etsy shop, but it is good for you to research trends.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so we're going to take a nice little scroll down. First thing I want to do is create myself a keyword list. So we'll go ahead and create a new list. This is something that you can use if you have, here, type in slime. If you have eRank Pro or eRank Basic, you can save your keywords within a list. So here's a bunch of different keyword lists I have. We'll use a slime list right now. It says slime, and I can add up to 50 keywords into this list. So let's go on a keyword hunt. Okay, so we have slime by itself, good searches, good click-through rate, good clicks, high competition. But the thing is, slime, the word slime on its own is likely going to be nested within all of these other terms. So I don't even need to think about slime on its own because we're already going to exact match and broad match for slime for any other terms that we want to use. Terms that are nested within other terms, for example, cheap and slime, or, well, let's use scented. Nobody wants to be cheap. Scented slime, you'll be matching for both scented slime and scented. If it was scented slime shop, you would be ranking for scented slime, and slime shop. Does that make sense? As long as they are all in your tags and titles. So maybe we'll save scented slime. We'll assume that our slime smells like cotton candy because it's cotton candy
sugary
colors.
and sweet.
So we are not a slime supply. Slime gift has great click-through rate, very low competition relative to some of the others.
But almost no clicks.
But almost no clicks and searches. So I'm going to save this one to my list just to keep an eye on because it looks like in January it had, well, I guess those aren't great searches, 825. We'll keep it on the list to keep an eye on. Cloud slime, I'll keep that. Butter slime.
Do you
Now,
input your shop names in your tags and titles? I would only do that if you're like a lifestyle brand or something like that. Like people are actively searching your brand to buy your products.
Yeah, if you need to get by, because people, for example, people searched my brand by name, but I also had an audience of over 25,000 people, and sometimes they just, my shop name had my name in it. So I would do that for my business, but it really just depends.
Yeah, that's really subjective. Dumbbell said, "Hey, I just hopped in. Long story short, please. You're in the this is a live stream, bud. You're in the wrong place."
Yeah, we can't we can't repeat everything we just said, but feel free to rewatch the replay. Gift for kids. This one is very high, so probably not one that I'm gonna want to use.
No, that's extreme.
Slime kit, slimes, DIY slime, slime charms, trick or treat. Slime girl, glossy glitter, art and collectibles, slime shops. Actually,
That right there is actually not too bad. Slime shops.
we're just pretending that I'm a slime shop.
Wondering if this website is paid or free of cost. What we're currently doing right now, building the list, is not, because you have to have one of the two paid plans. However, the website research itself is free.
Yeah, erank.com or erank.com/plans. And you can sign up for a free membership.
There is a free membership. It's as the plans go up. Once you get the paid plan, there's a couple more things that you can do, but it's not entirely necessary. And then switching to the top paid plan just gets you more searches and results and things. It doesn't actually give you more information to go for the more expensive plan.
Okay, so I think that we have expended all of our slime
For
here.
single terms, yeah.
We've got decent amount of searches here. Now let's do a comparison because I said that our slime is pink and blue. We're just pretending that we have a pink and blue slime that we want to sell. First of all, let's take a scroll down and see what some of our competitors look like. So we can see average price points for products that are listed as slime. So it looks like on average, they're going to be pretty cheap. Let's see, processing times. Looks like 1 to 3 days is going to be the standard. I don't know what NA.
It doesn't know. They don't have it listed.
And then we scroll down.
Out of curiosity, anybody that knows, we do a lot with like copyright stuff and not making products that are copyright restricted. The main page of Etsy today was all Dragon Quest. The whole front page logged out was all Dragon Quest items. Is Dragon Quest one of those companies or one of those labels that allows people to make fan art of their stuff? Like they put their stuff open domain? Because it was in like the Etsy was advertising it section, and it was the whole thing. Let me know if you know.
I think I ended up clicking on a listing for Dragon Quest when I was doing my example. So it's got a little bit of personalization. I want to look at this person's keyword, pink glittery slime. Okay, so they were taking a wild guess on that search phrase. Okay, so let's try something else now. We've got what the product is. The product is slime. We're going to pretend that it's cotton candy scented, pink and blue slime. It could be given as a gift. We'll say that it's a cloud slime. We're a slime shop and it's fluffy. So those are some of the keywords that we've saved so far. Now, let's think more about what else we could label it as. Because we've already done slime, and we've got
the terms to define the product.
Exactly. It's pink, it's blue. When I think of pink and blue, I think of cotton candy, I think of unicorns, and maybe mermaids. So let's do a little comparison. Let's do compare keywords under the Tools tab.
Uh-oh.
Type in mermaid.
You're going to get me on my thing about mermaid.
Mermaid. Let's do cotton candy. And let's do unicorn. Is there anything else that's pink and blue that you can think of? That we could add?
Just pink and blue?
Yeah. Trying to think of like another.
I don't know. What do you think, chat? We'll give it like 20 seconds. What do you think? What's another thing that we could put in here that could be pink and blue for slime?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. First suggestion wins. Give it a second.
Sunset.
Sunset.
I don't think that one quite matches, but I think that could be cute if it was done with the right colors.
Sunset. Space, maybe?
Cake.
Cake. I like cake. All right, we'll do cake.
Carnival of Carnage.
Unicorn poop. Trolls. Well, trolls could get you in trouble, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's try cake.
Cake.
Okay, now we'll hit compare. And we'll decide what we're going to label our slime as. Is it going to be, are we going to call it the mermaid slime, the cotton candy slime, the unicorn slime, or the cake slime?
Ryan said, am I the only one who cringes at slime? Nope, I do too. I think it's awful and gross.
He can't touch it.
I can't touch it. I hate it. No matter what kind of slime. It doesn't leave a residue on your It all leaves a residue on your fingers. All of it. Anyway.
Okay, so we've got 4 different results here. Let's take a look at all of our numbers, because obviously this one, most people would say, okay, that's the clear winner.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of searches to it either.
Exactly.
Don't get intimidated. I think the big thing here is not getting intimidated by the colors. Don't get intimidated. And don't get intimidated by there being competition. If there's no competition, the chances are there's not a lot of people searching for it anyway.
Yeah. So cake is one that I'm going to immediately eliminate because this competition is very high.
Yeah, 500,000's too much.
Compared to the searches. It's just not high enough for me. Now, obviously, the results might change a little bit if we've specifically searched cake slime. But right now, I'm doing kind of a process of elimination because most people who are just searching for cake, they're not looking for slime, right? But what I want to see is what's more trendy, especially for kids. What are kids into? Kids are the main person who we're going to be, marketing slime towards, or their parents at least.
Yep.
What type of slime do kids want? Cake, it's a little broad. Unicorns, however, cotton candy, and mermaid, these are all things that might be more popular with kids. And if we look at our search volumes, we can also see when these things are trendy. So mermaids, October, they're very popular. In August.
That's very strange. You would think that it would be like spring season when people are getting ready to go into summer.
Cotton candy looks to be popular in February.
Valentine's Day.
And November, so maybe like something Christmas gift, cotton candy. And then unicorn, November. And January. Sorry, guys.
These are all 3 very good terms. They're all looking pretty good, to be honest. I like cotton candy. There's not a lot of competition to it. The click-through rate's pretty good. Don't be afraid when you see a click-through rate that's low like this. And to be honest, I really wouldn't bother with this unless this is like 0. It's not really that big of a deal. It's fine. But when you start looking at things like this where their click-through rate is over 100%, this is telling me that not only are people searching for this and clicking on this, but it's also being shown in feeds that aren't having to do with search. So they're showing up on front pages, they're showing up in other places, and people are still clicking on it. So this here shows you that this is an item that's trending on people's front pages when they get into Etsy. Before they search for anything, before they go into categories, this is what's happening. So mermaid and unicorn are both good terms to use. I think cotton candy is going to be a good one for our like low volume. Because you want a good mix of low and high volume. You don't want all terms that are extremely high competition, but you don't also want things that are extremely low competition because you're limiting your search capacity. If there's low competition, there's less people searching for it. That's just how it is. But
So
you want a mix.
I'm going to go ahead and save mermaid and cotton candy to our list.
You said Little Pony. My Little Pony is a trademark. We don't want to screw with that.
Yep. No, nothing that could get you in trouble. Keep in mind that even if it shows that it's trending on eRank, that doesn't mean it's safe to use. So just be careful. We put a huge trademark warning right at the top of eRank, because often what's trending isn't necessarily what's okay to use.
People saying they didn't know this tool existed. Yeah, man. If you're in eRank, there's no damage to just go in there and just explore all the pages. Take a look at it. Mess with them. Do some search terms. If it's a tool you've never heard of or never seen, it doesn't matter if you run your quota up. Play with it a little bit.
All right, so now we have a decent amount of words saved to our keyword list. There's one more thing that I want to add, and I think that it might be an interesting word to experiment with. Because you guys know that I used to be a preschool teacher, and I know that when I taught preschool, something that we would use for our children who, were more tactile, especially children who had autism, was sensory experiences, sensory tubs, sensory toys. We used to make slime, all different scented slimes, edible slimes, just depending on, what age group we were working with. So let's experiment with the term. We'll go into the keyword tool. Let's try sensory.
Sensory.
Yeah.
Somebody had a really good idea. Somebody said, how about pirates? I think if you make slime, that pirates is a perfect one that you could do for it. Because you could do like the foamy ocean slime with little doubloons and sharks.
Yeah.
And you could even do like the bloody ocean and have like one little like red streak through there. Somebody got pushed off the plank. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good questions. Try to save some of the questions until we get through the actual demonstration part of it, unless it's something that like you truly don't understand.
Ooh, okay. So one that immediately stands out to me is sensory toys, because it doesn't fit for sensory kit, sensory bin, and if we use sensory toys, it will also match for sensory toy. This one is the one that stands out the most to me right now.
Black and white's got too much competition. Gift for grandma, it's too low.
Gift for mom. See, these are getting really
vague.
Yeah, sensory bins.
I Spy bag. See, now that's a cool idea, but it's you can that's the thing when you have a cool idea. It's not always something that everybody else is gonna think of.
Gift for kids, very very broad.
Zones of regulation.
What?
I don't know.
That's
Somebody's going to give me crap for laughing at that, but that's fine. That's probably something. Adult sensory, Down syndrome.
Yeah, I think that
appeal.
Sensory might be a good one to go with on its own. If we're doing sensory product, parents aren't typically anybody who has an autistic child. I'm sure you don't search for like toys for autism. You're searching for sensory toys, right? So let's work with our list that we have so far. I think that we've got a pretty great list going on. Sensory toys. We could do sensory toy gifts. That way we're getting in like toy gifts, slime gifts.
Before we get into it, Charlie's asking what click-through rate is, and for anybody else confused as to what click-through rate actually is, I think it's a good idea. Maybe we just explain what these things mean real quick. If you're confused, you can also go anywhere on eRank. You see one of these, you'll have a little bubble that'll pop up and tell you exactly what it is.
And you can click it to leave it up.
Yeah. So CTR clicks to searches on Etsy. So essentially, you have the amount of people that are actually clicking on a listing that have searched for something containing this search term. So if somebody searches for, and why there's a difference between sensory and sensory kit, even though they contain it. Somebody searches for sensory kit the amount of people that click on a listing containing either a broad or direct match of the term sensory kit is going to be the CTR, which is why sometimes you'll see a higher CTR than there actually is 100%, because this many people have searched for it, how many people have clicked on it, and that usually means that either people are getting it through like a browse feature, like they're actually going to categories and browsing and not searching for something directly, they're just searching for gifts, or it's showing up on their main feed, like right when they log into Etsy, and it's just sitting there for them to buy. And that in a nutshell is really all that it is. How many people are searching for this term, or using a search term that either broad or direct. I don't know if this is broad and direct match or just broad match for the searches, so forgive me on that one. And this is how many people have clicked on something containing either a broad or direct match for this. I don't know if it's just direct match when eRank does it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you were confused. How do you ever sort? Do you ever sort by average searches?
You can, but that's not really as important to me because I don't want the least amount of searches. I don't want the most amount of searches. I'm always looking for sweet spots in the middle. No. You totally can. But typically I just kind of scroll through, because once you hit the bottom, you're already hitting those terms you're never going to have so many terms that you can't just sift through them quickly. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go ahead and start crafting our title. So we're going to view our keyword list that we've created. Remember, the keyword list feature is only for Basic and Pro, but if you're using a free membership, you could always just write these down on paper or create yourself a CSV or a Trello board to save them. Now, the keyword list feature is one of my favorites. There's a couple really cool things that we can do with our keyword list. For one, if we make a listing and we want to keep an eye on the keywords that we've placed on our listing, we've got them saved. So if for some reason our sales just suddenly drop off, we can go into our keyword lists and look at the search trend data. So maybe we were selling lots of our fluffy slime in March, and suddenly in April, we weren't selling any. Well, if we look down here, it looks like not very many people searched for fluffy slime in April. But a lot of people searched for it in March. So that's a good indicator that maybe that trend is falling in popularity. But you have these all saved. That way you don't have to manually look them up every time. Another cool thing that you can do is add a color flag. These are however you want to use them. This is like if you had a notebook and you were highlighting, based on however you want to color categorize things in your notebook. That's all these are. So maybe I could say all of the keywords that I'm using in my listings right now, I'll put a green flag, and then maybe the ones that I just want to keep an eye on, I will use a red flag. So you can put whatever color flags you want to.
I'm going to ask Anthony a question.
Okay. So let's start doing our title. Now, we do have an option in here to use the listing builder. The screen's actually a little too big. Can you hit Control for me? Thank you. You have the option to use their listing builder where you can just add words right in. Now, the problem with this is that on Etsy, we don't need to repeat the word slime over and over again. So if I were to do this for our listing tags and copy the whole thing, I mean, it can be useful, but for the most part, for those who are pretty experienced in SEO and you're actually trying to get as many different keywords as possible in there, it's not really a necessary tool. It's just something to save time for those sellers who might have like 100 listings that they need to optimize. I don't personally use this listing builder tool. Instead, I like to just look at my results and craft a title based on what I see. So we've got butter, cloud, cotton candy, mermaid, scented, sensory, slime gift, and slime shops. So I'm trying to think of a good way to craft this. I know I want to use the word mermaid and cotton candy to define what type of slime it is. So mermaid, cotton candy, scented slime. Let's start there.
Okay.
Can you type in
Nope.
mermaid, cotton candy, scented slime?
Mermaid, cotton candy scented slime.
Okay, that's a good place to start. We can always kind of work with it later. If it is a, let's see.
Not seeing Ninja had asked a question I needed to ask Anthony. He said, if CTR is higher than 100%, is that not people searching, clicking, hitting back, and then clicking another listing? If that was on any other page, then wouldn't it just be a click from search? See, I don't know if it's counted as unique users or unique clicks. So I'm asking Anthony whether or not that's the case. It doesn't affect the variable very much regardless, but I'm curious.
So a couple more words that I want to, we've got mermaid cotton candy scented slime. So I want to get the word sensory, but I also want to get the word cloud. And I want to craft this into a nice sentence. I was thinking mermaid cotton candy scented slime with cloud sensory texture. I know that the word texture is obviously a filler space. But if we're crafting this as a small or a short sentence that kind of makes sense, which is what Etsy recommends, let's try that with cloud sensory texture. And then I want to try to get toy in there with cloud sensory toy texture.
Nah, that sounds eBay.
Okay. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm not a fan for listings that look like they were for eBay.
Mermaid cotton candy scented slime with cloud.
We could put toy after slime. I mean, it's not a toy, so it's misleading regardless, but... yeah, I don't think we should use the word toy. You can if you're trying to get as many as many keywords in there as you can, but I'm always more of a fan of things that run on and still sound like a good description of the product. Once you start deviating from describing the product, you're at a point where like you're just trying to get searches and it's not good for your clicks.
So our exact matches that we have, exact matches are words that are right next to each other, are cotton candy scented.
Scented slime.
Scented slime.
Candy scented slime.
Candy scented slime. Oh, yeah, candy scented slime.
Mermaid cotton candy. No, I don't think anybody's searching for that.
And then we're broad matching for cotton candy slime.
Mermaid scented slime.
Slime sensory, or sensory slime.
Yep.
Slime.
Texture.
Texture. Cloud slime.
Cloud texture.
Cloud
Sensory
texture
is a direct. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We got a lot going on there.
What about with cloud sensory texture toys? Or cloud sensory texture. I guess if you put like slime charms in it, it could be.
I mean, yeah, if you were going to put charms in it, I would change it from texture to textured toys.
Toys. Cloud sensory textured toys. Because then we would get
sensory textured toys.
Sensory toys in there as well. Okay.
Amber said milkshakes got distracting. I made it. Yep, they do bring all the boys to the yard.
All right, so now let's do our tags based on some of the words that we have here and some of the words that we didn't get to fit in our title. Obviously, we still have plenty of characters here. As long as you're making a decent sentence that makes sense, excuse me, you can also break this up into multiple phrases, which is, the way to go if you want to try to get as many keywords in there as possible. You can do that as well. If I were listing this product, though, this is about where I would personally stop. So, just so I
thought that what it should be in the beginning so people can see it in case it is truncated. So slime at the beginning, is that wrong? I mean, not necessarily, no. We're describing the product.
Here's the thing. Etsy tells us to put what the product is at the top of as close to the beginning of the title as possible. It's not because the beginning of your title holds any more weight in search. It's so shoppers, when they see your product in search, they're able to quickly identify what it is. However, since we're specifically targeting people that are searching for slime, and ideally our thumbnail photo is a photo of slime, I don't think that anybody is going to look at that photo and not be able to identify exactly what it is. So it's not one of those, you have to use a little bit of your own like best judgment here when it comes to these things. There's no black and white. So if somebody is searching for slime and they see mermaid cotton candy scented, they're still going to know it's slime. But the most important part of my slime is the fact that it's cotton candy scented. We're obviously just pretending, but I want them to know that my slime is cotton candy scented. So, I mean, we could eliminate mermaid out of there. We could switch it to just cotton candy scented slime. And that would be an option as well. But if you're asking if it's going to decrease our visibility in search, no.
I don't think so. There was a couple other questions. Why are they called direct match if the words are not consecutive? Eye-opening for me. If the words are consecutive,
Exact match.
Well, direct and exact mean the same thing, but if they are consecutive, it's an exact match. If they're not consecutive, then it's a broad match.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? And I mean, if you're trying to get more keywords in here, just the way that I like things, I wouldn't do that. I would just do that because its width isn't going to help you in any capacity whatsoever.
No, that's just how Etsy likes it. But
Yeah,
you can do it. You can do it either way.
You can do it either way.
And maybe we could do another example with commas. I mean, you can do the same thing. We could do mermaid cotton candy scented slime, comma.
You could do
Sensory texture toys.
Or toys. Toys doesn't necessarily matter over on Etsy's end. Somebody did ask, would using texture also bring me people that used the word textured? E-rank won't give you information in that way because it's hard to differentiate between textures, textured, texture.
It's going based on what people are actually typing in, but Etsy's going to combine those things.
Etsy's going to combine those. I would say more than likely Etsy's going to try to match the term that you used exactly first and then other words. So yeah, when it comes to searching on Etsy, you should be getting people that are searching any variation of the word no matter how they type it.
So I'm going to drop some of these words. Ooh, where's my tags? I'm going to drop some of these words into my tags. First one, scented slime. Next one, let's do cotton candy.
I've seen shops that are able to write tags longer than 20 characters. How do they do that?
No idea.
No clue.
Not even the slightest. Let's do, let's see. Sensory toys.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Cloud texture. So we've used sensory texture toys, cloud, slime, cotton candy scented. So mermaid is the only one we don't have. So this
What about toys? Did we already have toys?
Yeah,
okay.
Sensory toys. So now we can start throwing in a couple of like oddball phrases, you know, just to get some extras in there. So we've got mermaid left over. We also have gift. So why don't we try
mermaid gift?
Mermaid gift. That's a good one.
Let's
look back at our list.
Fun goop.
Fun goop. Let's see. We've got fluffy. We've got slime shops. Fluffy butter. Maybe people who are looking for butter slime.
Fluffy butter.
Yeah, why not?
It's my nickname after the winter when I get done eating all the holiday food.
Fluffy butter.
Fluffy butter.
Fluffy butter. It's like when you whip your butter before you make buttercream. Fluffy butter. We could put pink and blue in there.
Pink. Should I do individual?
No.
And blue?
Sure.
Sure.
Why not? This is where I like to throw in the curveballs. I like to just start throwing in a couple, good guesses.
Amber said de-stressing tool. Stress relief.
Let's go to the keyword tool and type in stress.
Stress.
And hope we don't get any 18 plus terms.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't use relief.
Relief. Everybody needs a little relief. Let's see. Stress ball, stress relief gift. Oh, that's actually not too bad.
No searches though.
No searches.
No searches. Party favor?
Party favor. Hey.
Check that out. Party favor. You give me a frickin' thing of slime as a party favor, and I'm not coming to your parties anymore.
Let's see.
You got this. Frog stress ball. That's very specific.
Why don't we search
Therapy?
Therapy? That's a good one. Let's see what we can find there. Come on, E-Rank, you can do it.
Yeah, I believe in you. And I know this isn't our end. We upgraded our internet so we wouldn't have any issues like we did last week.
Occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy.
Most jobs aren't going to want you to have slime, so let's not use occupational.
Physical therapy?
I don't think slime could qualify as that either.
For tactile? Therapy tools?
Physical therapy is when you go with, like,
Full
when
body.
you tear a muscle or something.
Therapy tools, is that what Amber had said?
De-stressing tool.
De-stressing tool. It doesn't have a lot.
No, it does not.
Gift for mom. I love how therapy we got results for gift for mom.
We use slime and OT all the time.
You know what? We will...
Occupational therapy? Really? Okay. Yeah, we can toss that in there.
Sure.
There's almost no computation.
All right, let's throw it in. Cool. All right, let's try
Non-toxic.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Do a little quick search for it. Non-toxic. How do you know? What if my slime is only toxic? That's all we sell in our shop.
We dump battery acid in our slime. It's all toxic.
Non-toxic candle gifts for her gift. Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna get anything.
Looks like it's all candles.
Yeah.
Try children.
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 Isn't that more of a Wayfair thing?
Too soon. Too soon. Did they ever debunk?
Did they ever resolve that where they were selling like cabinets for like $25,000 and it turns out people think they were selling children?
Children. Made in USA, gifts for kids, very high searches. But you know what? Here's the thing. Even though it's high searches, I'm going to grab it because what if we broad matched for slime gifts for kids?
Yeah. You know.
All right, 3 left.
Charlie said yucky. Occasionally I got to throw a yucky joke out there.
All right. What about birthday? Mermaid birthday. That's something we should have done. Try birthday. We did party favors.
Birthday. Non-scented. We already did scented.
Yeah. It's cotton candy scented. Remember, it's cotton candy scented mermaid slime. Come on, E-Rank, you can do it. All right, birthday, party. We got party already, and we got gift. Birthday boy, birthday shirt, thank you card, happy birthday. 40th birthday, first birthday, 60th. Custom birthday, birthday shirt, women, unicorn birthday. You know what? Why not?
Yeah, we're grasping at straws at this point. It's okay to start just throwing some random crap in there.
When you got 2 to 3 left in there,
Bubkus.
You just go crazy. Let's do let's grab stocking stuffers. Right now would be a great time to start getting stocking stuffers in your shop so you can start ranking for them. So we'll toss it in there.
Therapeutic fun.
Therapeutic fun? I don't know if I want to search that on E-Rank. Might find some weird results.
Let's just search anxiety and see what we get.
Sure.
Since this gives me anxiety.
Ooh, fidget. We could have done fidget.
Yeah, fidget.
Come on.
I believe in you.
We got it. Anxiety relief. Oh, that one's not too bad.
Well, competition's pretty high for the searches.
Anti-anxiety?
That's even worse. We'll just use anxiety. No, anxiety relief is fine because we'll broad match for anxiety.
All right.
We'll broad match for mermaid anxiety.
I could have just pasted it. Sure. All right. Guys, that is the messy process that I use for keyword optimization on my Etsy tags and titles. There's many ways to do it. You don't have to do it the way that I did,
Nope.
but the research process should be the same. Test different things, test different styles of titles, test these little sentences, test nice long titles that have lots of different keywords. Test broad matching versus exact matching. And when you are running your tests, we'll say that we've listed this product. What I then recommend you do is you go into your listings on eRank, you go into your active listings, you find your listing that you would like to track, and you click the button that says Track Changes. From the moment you click Track Changes, eRank will begin collecting data on that item based on how many people view that item, click the item, favorite the item, and purchase the item. This can give you valuable data on whether or not keyword changes that you've made to your item are actually positive and are bringing traffic to your shop or driving people away. Then we can go into our Changes tool, look at the listings that we've been tracking. I will do this one. I will click Show Changes. And from here, for example, on this particular listing, we can see that, let's see, yes or no. Oh, is this yesterday or today? This is today.
That's today.
We got one view on our raspberry tie-dye hoodie. And then 2 days ago, we got a view and a favorite. So this is all positive. And if you see a negative number in quantity, that means that you've made a sale. So what you want to look for when you have listed a new item, go in and maybe track that item or any items that you're experimenting with your keywords. You want to click Track Changes and then keep an eye on your views, your favorites, and your quantity available, which is sales. And if you see a red negative in your quantity available, that's actually a good thing. That means you sold one.
Yep.
So just keep an eye on that, and then you'll know if the keyword changes that you've made to your listings work. I do have a shorter video on this. It's called How to Know If Your SEO is Working. I think I made that about 4 or 5 weeks ago. You can find it on my channel if you just search Starla Moore SEO or Starla Moore SEO Working. And that video will give you a more in-depth analysis of how to track the progress of the keyword changes that you've made in your shop. But Mr. Moore, I think that this is it. If you want to go ahead. Wrong one.
That's not the right one. Where is it?
I am so sorry that my nose is so red and I am getting so winded just trying to talk.
I switched back to a wired mouse and I almost yanked it across my desk.
I promise we do not have COVID. Our allergies are so bad right now because it's just rained every single day.
Oh, God, it's awful. That's okay, though. And he said, what about neurodivergent? I don't know. You're getting into big terms.
Neurodivergent has actually been trending on Etsy.
Has it?
Yeah, and in the UK, I think it was one of the top searched in the UK. But that would have been a good one to toss in there. Let's see. How do you access keyword lists that you've created earlier? Do you have eRank up still?
Yeah, sure do. That's exactly why I kept it up, because I knew it was
That's all right.
the second I needed it. All right, we're on screen share.
Okay. Go to the Tools tab, click on Keyword Lists, and then all of the keyword lists will be here, and then you just click on your list title, and then it'll pull it up.
Yep. And lists are just for the paid plans, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, maybe don't zip.
Mark's nude calendar 2023.
Yeah. Any particular view or any particular video gets 1,000 likes, and I'll do a tasteful nude calendar. That's the rule. Get your questions in.
All right, let's see. Somebody had said, go back down. Is this only pro or also basic?
I literally just asked you that question.
What, you did?
Yes, I said that's just for the paid plans, correct? And you said yes.
Oh, for the keyword list?
Yeah.
Yeah, keyword list.
The keyword list, yes, but all the research tools you can get.
Yeah, the keyword
on a
tool
free
you can
plan.
use. I can't remember exactly how many searches you get per day, but if you're using the free plan, it refreshes every 24 hours. So all you have to do is pop back in the next day, and then you can continue your keyword research.
Anthony hasn't messaged me back yet.
He's probably not online.
Well, he's going to get fired. He doesn't...
He's gonna get fired. Your boss is gonna get fired. All right, guys.
I'm just going through and searching while you guys are getting your questions in.
Feel free to get any Etsy SEO, E-rank questions. If we don't know the answer, we can find them. Any Etsy marketing questions, we're happy to answer them. If you've got questions about the Handmade Alpha Academy, my coaching program is opening in almost 2 weeks, and I promise I've got a lot more pep in my coaching program than I have right now.
A lot more.
Because I'm sick right now. But we've got 800 amazing students in there right now. We have so many sellers who have already reached 6 figures going through my program, though it's not something that we can guarantee. We do guarantee that the program works as long as you work hard. It is a 9-module video course that you can take. However, you do get access to me. Yes. You get access to Mark. You get our personal email addresses. You get access to our private student campus Facebook group, which we've had a couple people try to join that over the last few days. That's only for students, so anybody who just tries to join.
That's why it says, what did you sign up? What email did you use when you signed up for the Academy? Yeah. Our email list is not the Academy. We
also provide 12 months of eRank Pro to every single person who signs up for the program. I pay for it for you. It's $120 value that's included in your enrollment price.
And we do pay for that. It's a big chunk of change every year.
Yeah. And... yeah, that's going to be opening on June 14th. It's a self-paced program, 30-day money-back guarantee. It's a lot of fun. And we're going to also have a webinar on the 18th of June. That way you can get a little taste of my teaching style if you are unfamiliar with it. So it's very different than these live streams.
And more than likely, when we make more micro courses and stuff in the future, HA students will probably get those for free. So just keep that in mind. I also did want to ask, now that we're kind of at peak audience, I'm considering making a course just on like how to use Elementor. We're rebuilding our entire website using Elementor. It's a builder for WordPress and cloud websites and stuff like that. Would you guys be interested in me doing like a micro course based on building your own website? I probably wouldn't go into stuff like Google optimization and stuff like that, but I could probably build a course for relatively cheap and then include it for existing HA students. So would anybody be interested in something like that?
Elementor is really cool.
It's really dope, and there's a lot you can do with it. And you can do regular like checkout stuff. You can do e-commerce stuff. You can WooCommerce is directly compatible with it. Like you can do Stripe checkout, PayPal checkout.
It's pretty cool.
Just about anything. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that, and I'll get working on it. It's a lot of work. That's why I ask. So. Would it make more sense to do more than one long tail keyword in a title?
You should always aim for long tail keywords.
As many as you possibly can without... Okay, so it doesn't necessarily matter if your listing titles look like eBay jumbles, but Etsy prefers that they don't. And your customers are probably going to prefer that they don't too. So
the algorithm doesn't care.
Yeah. So try to fit as many as you can in there while still sounding like a human being and not like a Chinese eBay shop. Okay, so a couple people had said that the shop languages allow more characters in the tags because obviously they need more room to say the same thing.
Interesting. I didn't know that. You guys taught me something today.
We did. Sounds like something you could abuse by switching to a different language, putting in your tags, and then switching back.
I don't know if you can do that.
If you can, don't do that because that's exploitation and they'll probably remove you eventually. Students use slime in class like fidget tools, and teachers use it as class prizes.
Yeah, that's Taylor's teacher's done that before too.
Rain, yes, please. That's all.
Well, when your area is on fire, I can understand that.
Yeah,
it's very bad right now here.
Amber G said, so if I'm listing something, I don't want to repeat a keyword like slime multiple times in tags.
It's not that you can't. It's not going to count against you if you do. If you want to exact match for those terms, you totally can. It's unnecessary though. You don't need to. You only need to use it once. Etsy isn't going to view it as anything other than, if you're trying to exact match. If you want to match for cloud slime, and you want to make sure that you're exact matching for unicorn slime, you totally can, but you can open up for more keyword space by not. Every once in a while, you know, if I am just strapped for ideas and I literally cannot find anything else, I will put the same keyword into my tags twice, just for the sake of getting that keyword space filled up, just to make sure I'm not using one-word tags, just to make sure that I'm getting an exact match on a phrase that I really want an exact match for, because maybe I found like a really good sweet spot. It's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to give you any extra boost, if that makes sense.
I don't remember seeing someone do the research before the title. Brilliant. I mean, do as much research as you possibly can. There's nothing wrong with, like, if you have a bunch of products and you want to just get the listings made so you can get in there and start doing your stuff, just throwing like a rough draft of ideas in the title and then going back and researching. But as the earlier you can do it, the better. I do goth stuff. Should all my keywords include goth? For example, goth cute, goth pastel? No.
Nope.
No. Try to limit the amount of times that you're using the word goth as much as possible, because using it more than once isn't really going to help you.
No, you don't.
Other than for exact matches.
You're not like boosting yourself every time you use it. It's basically you're just wasting keyword space.
And there are so many other words that people that are goth would consider themselves. You have the alternative crowd. You have cyber goth. You have goth. You have emo. You have, like, you might not consider what you're doing to be emo, but I guarantee that if you're selling goth stuff, that emo people probably also buy your stuff, right? You have
oddities, Halloween, apothecary.
Apothecary. There's religions. You could go with Wiccan and
pagan.
like pagan. Like, there's so many different things that you could use instead of just goth. So think outside the box a little bit. Learn so much. Guess I know what I'm redoing this weekend.
Just don't
disclaimer.
Don't do a bunch of keyword changes altogether. One of the most common issues we see in our inbox is someone will email us and they'll say, "Oh my God, this week I changed all my keywords and now my sales have completely dropped off and my visibility is down like 50%. Yeah, because you made all your keyword changes altogether. You have to do these changes slowly and carefully. One listing at a time is really all I recommend. And then you let it set, and then you monitor it in the change tracker tool like I showed you guys a little bit ago, and you keep track of how those changes affect your views, favorites, and sales for that listing. Because if you make changes that are not good for the listing and you did it to all of your listings, odds are your visibility is going to completely drop off, and you're going to go through a huge drought because of it.
You're going to crash.
When doing SEO changes to existing listings, I recommend doing those very slowly, one listing at a time, maybe two if you've got a lot of other listings, and never, ever, ever edit a listing's SEO that is already performing well. A lot of people ask me, what do I mean by performing well? Whatever well is for you. If you don't make any sales, but you've got this one listing that sells every 6 months, that's your best seller. If you don't sell anything, but you have one listing that's getting views, that's your best performer. Don't touch those listings. Touch the listings that aren't performing well.
Let's see. You guys have taught me so much just by sharing these videos. Can't wait to afford to buy the program. June 2023. Hubby will buy it once I graduate graphic design. Stoked.
Cool beans.
Stoked to have you. Amber said with me helping. At this point, I probably know more about it than you. With as much as I've had to do.
I don't know.
I've had to do custom PHP and CSS just to get this stuff to collaborate with the plugins that I'm using. I know the back end of this web program by now, but if I need help, I'll hit you up. Can I use Drank for German shop, and can I use the English? Oh, we got that last week too. I never think about it. And I use the English tags because in most sheet it says I should use the language of my shop.
If you're in Germany, whatever locational data, like wherever you signed up for, when you signed up for your Etsy account, whatever country you chose, that's the language that you should likely use for your keywords, unless you're specifically targeting a U.S. audience. However, one thing I will say is whatever's trending in the U.S. is typically going to be trending in other areas as well. There is a graph in the keyword tool that's going to show you data for the U.S., the U.K. I don't know if Germany's on there. I know Australia is, Canada is. Mm-hmm. Is Germany on that pie chart?
For what? E-rank?
Yeah, I can't remember. Go to the keyword tool. One sec, guys. Just type in anything. Type in poo. Sure. You have to type in something that people are searching for.
Oh my God.
Slime. All right. So you can find Etsy searches for Australia, the UK, Canada, and the US. And then there's another category just titled Other, which is likely where Germany would factor in. Point I'm trying to make is that if something is trending in the US, since the US makes up a majority of shoppers on Etsy, it's likely going to be trending in other places as well. So...
And we are working on getting data for foreign countries put in. It's just differentiating between those countries. It's a lot harder when your website's built from scratch. We don't use a builder for eRank. It's all hand programmed.
We've got a really cool development team at eRank. It's just you guys don't ever see them because most of them are in the Philippines. But we have a very big team at eRank.
I had quite a few people saying, yeah, that they would like a course on building a website. Okay, I'll do it. More than likely, it'll probably be like a $200 or $500 thing. It just depends on how much work goes into it. And if you're an HAA student, you'll probably get it for free. So,
no dates on that.
No dates. I'm gonna shoot for the winter, but no promises.
Hi, Logan.
Excuse me, I got the hiccups real bad. I'm sure this has been asked before, but does the program work for sellers who sell supplies instead of handmade? Yes.
Yep.
Like selling sewing supplies and fabrics, for example. Yes.
Yeah, we got a lot of... We have sellers who do charms. We have sellers who do SVG supplies. We have sellers who do dyed yarns and
yeah,
fabrics.
If the question is, does X and Y fit for Handmade Alpha Academy, the chances are we already have somebody in the industry in the course. We have paid students over 600 and actual people that are in the course over 900. We have like 900 people on our website, so... if you have a lot of variations, should you include any terms that have to do with some of the specific variations? For example, tag for panda if one of the fabric choices is panda. You could,
but you probably won't get matched for it. I mean, if you are out of ideas for keyword space, then sure. Would I prioritize that as one of your keywords? No. But if you can't think of anything else, test it. Try it out.
Do you recommend Shopify for an e-commerce website or WordPress and Elementor? For 99% of people, if you're planning on actually selling on your own website, Shopify probably. Anything other than doing it yourself, I think building your own website, if you're going to stay on Etsy, and just having a website for your brand. I'm looking into some other options, so we're not going to go into it too.
We have a Wix store as well.
We do have a Wix store. I could even throw in some bonuses on how to do all of them. I could just do an all-encompassing, like, this is Shopify, this is WooCommerce, this is this is that. I could do them all. I'd have to charge more for it because it's going to take me probably a year or more to come up with the material for that kind of thing.
Plus, we'll have to buy all those platforms.
I'll have to buy and also continually maintain those platforms because I'll have to be able to provide support for them. So the more I include, the more it's going to cost, and the less likely I can include with something else. But for the majority of people, if you're just wanting to sell on your own website and not use it as just like a brand website or a direct to your Etsy shop, then Shopify or some other like easy to do e-commerce website is probably going to be the way for you to go. The thing about doing your own website with WordPress or with using Elementor on WordPress is while it's more simple than building a website on your own, it's still building a website. It's not like you start it and you can do it in a day. It's going to probably take you a month or two to figure out how to do everything.
Amber, are you in the chat?
She is.
Can you put your website link in the chat since she's an admin, so she'll be able to post her link. Her website is what he's talking about, where Shopify, you're going to have very limited capabilities just because it's Shopify, you're using a builder. Whereas where you're designing your own website, you're going to have more capabilities. That's what, Elementor is going to help you to be able to do. Amber's got a pretty good example of a site that is fully customized. But Amber, feel free to toss that in.
And I'm also looking into potentially finding a way to put your Etsy listings on your own website. But as of right now, I don't even know if that's possible. But with the way that they're doing things for letting third parties sell your Etsy listings on their websites, potentially if there's an API for that we can figure out how to use, I might be able to include that too. And then you could literally just have two places for your shop. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. How do we sign up for the webinar?
Oh, I don't have a link for that yet, but that will be, I will probably start announcing that, when is it? Okay, so the webinar is taking place on June 18th. It will be a Saturday after the Friday Bean, so it'll be, the Friday Bean for that week will be on the 17th, and we'll use that as an opportunity to talk about it. I likely won't have a sign up page for the webinar until the HAA actually opens on June 14th, because all of my time is going to be going into finishing up the HAA reboot before enrollment opens. But I'll be emailing it out. That episode of the Friday Bean, I'll be talking about it. I'll be posting it on all my social medias. And that will be the Climbing the Mountain webinar. 5 steps to generate a profitable brand on Etsy. We always do that one in June. And then we do Brand Planet in the winter.
Yes. I was wondering if you guys could do a course on just the marketing side, no graphic design stuff. Well, wouldn't
HAA
you know?
Includes a lot of the marketing.
I mean,
elements.
HAA, a good portion of HAA is the marketing side of things. Setting up an email list, social media prioritization. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, HAA is a lot. It's not just how to set up an Etsy shop. That is the smallest part of HAA. The majority of HAA is how to make that Etsy shop profitable by building funnels, by creating an email list, by having a marketing timeline to follow so you know exactly what to post on social media, how to utilize your social media accounts, how to generate your own traffic and to utilize SEO. That way you have traffic coming from both your external, funnels and Etsy search. That's a majority of what HAA is. There are tons of courses out there that teach you how to set up an Etsy shop. If that's what you need, go find one of those cheapo courses or find a free YouTube video.
There's a ton of cheapo courses on how to like slap together an Etsy shop. HAA is all encompassing.
HAA is going to teach you how to turn that Etsy shop into a sustainable business. We will teach newbies how to set up their shop. That's part of it.
That's the first part of it.
That is part of it. But for the most part, what HAA is it's going to teach you the psychology behind a lot of the elements that a lot of people don't consider, such as your color psychology for your branding. It's going to teach you the color psychology for your marketing. It's going to teach you neuromarketing tactics, which no other courses teach you right now. For those who don't know, I was a preschool teacher. Part of being in early childhood education is learning human psychology. Yep. Something that I found, though, while learning about human psychology is that the things that you learn about little children and the colors and the words and the emotional responses that you use to motivate children are the exact same that you use to motivate shoppers, that you use to drive people to purchase your products. And you wouldn't believe that how much those two things translate over. So a lot of the things that I am teaching are based on actual life experiences, and I source a lot of MIT case studies where they have actually done huge experiments on college campuses with people. It's a big thing. The entire course is all encompassing, like he said.
Yeah, it's all encompassing, and
I'm like getting winded. I'm sorry.
Fine. Yeah, well, just shush for a while. After HAA, not this launch, but the December launch, we will probably have her working on a high-level marketing course that's going to be more like a corporate entity level thing. You know how we feel about other course creators and how people will just like sell you a course and then it's, hey, buy this course now, buy this, buy this, buy this.
Upsells.
We don't want to upsell. We are working on other sellable material, but more than likely, like the other course, we'll probably market it to you guys, but it's not really intended for Etsy sellers. That's meant for like high level stuff. So in the future, we'll have stuff that's specifically just that stuff without all the Etsy stuff included, and I'll probably have the website stuff. I might even do some things on like audio design, pictures and stuff. That's all stuff that can be slapped into HAA that you can either buy individually or that you'll just get if you buy HAA. Buying HAA is the best way to just get most of the material that we make for free, because not only does HAA have stuff for running your Etsy shop, we have our couples business bootcamp, which we're going to be rebooting soon, that kind of helps with getting your spouse or your family kind of working in with you. We know a lot of Etsy sellers have an issue where their spouses or their family members just don't consider what they do to be a profession or a job. We work on that kind of stuff. I'm rebooting my tech guide I'm going to be putting a whole bunch of stuff on how to like optimize Windows and Mac. I'm going to be buying a Mac after this launch just so I can help you guys that are like crazy and buy Apple products. Like there is a ton of information in HA. It's not just how to do your Etsy shop. It's not just marketing. It's not just building listings. It is a ridiculous amount of content. Just the mainline course alone is what, 16 16 hours, I think, is what we calculated it out to. The original one. This new
It'll
one will
be
be
more.
than that. But with all the bonuses included, we're over 20 hours of content. Like, it's a lot of stuff, plus stuff to read.
There's also over 400 graphics in our graphics library.
Yes.
Where if you need it's St. Patrick's Day is next month. I need graphics for a St. Patrick's Day design.
Yes.
I've got cutout graphics that you can download
and we'll probably add more to it for this holiday season. Boop, boop, boo. What about terms like keychain, separate, and keychain in title?
I'm actually not sure. I'm sure that Etsy is able to differentiate. When you look them up on eRank, though, it's going to be based on how people search for those items. So I would just compare, and whichever one is most searched, based on what you see in eRank, use that version. But Etsy will likely understand that it's the same type of item.
Yeah. Questions on web hosts. I'm looking for Shopify too. We use SiteGround. We like SiteGround. We had HostGator. We hated HostGator. That's all we can really say.
I hated HostGator.
She had said, about GoDaddy's online bookkeeping being discontinued. I don't associate with GoDaddy on any capacity whatsoever after they sold my phone number. I get hundreds of calls a month because we decided not to pay the, $10?
$18 insurance on a $1 domain.
Yeah, basically paying them to not sell your frickin' information to every Indian scam company on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get literal hundreds of scam calls a year.
Not a fan of GoDaddy. I don't like their practices.
Nope, I'm not cool with that. Maybe they've changed recently, but I won't associate with them anymore. Because it was literally the day after we bought it, I started getting spam calls. And it was the worst at the time. I was getting 5 to 10 a day, every hour. And they still call me. They call me at 9, 10 o'clock at night. It's not just during the day.
Yeah. Not a fan of GoDaddy.
Nope. I'm having problems with blurry photos even after editing. Do you have any advice, tricks, or free sites I can use? It really depends on your camera. Are you using your cell phone? Are you using a camera? If you're using a DSLR, are you just not good at focusing? Is the autofocus on your camera crap? If you have an old phone, maybe make sure that your software on your phone is up to date, not just your Google Play Store. If you have a Samsung, usually there's a Samsung store that actually has a bunch of more things. Usually your camera software will be included in that, not in the Play Store, and that doesn't auto-update a lot of the times.
Next Friday, we'll be doing a photo editing session for you guys, because last week I asked you what you wanted this week, SEO or photo editing. You guys mostly said SEO, so photo editing will be next week. Feel free to join into that episode of the Friday Bean, and I'll be doing some live demonstrations of how I personally edit photos using free software. But if your photos are blurry before you edit them, even if they look good on your phone, if you're using your phone or a digital camera, they will look good on a tiny screen. But then once you put them on your computer, it's not that you've lost resolution. Yes. A lot of the times it's just because these pixels are a lot closer together and they look clear. But then when you have it on a big screen, the photo ends up not being clear at all.
Yeah, and if you have the capacity to get yourself a little Bluetooth remote, I don't even know where ours is, and get yourself a tripod. If you have unsteady hands, or especially those of you that are a little bit older and you have a hard time steadying holding a camera.
I've got unsteady hands.
Yeah, I'm all kind of sketchy. Set yourself up with a tripod. Do the best that you can. It's going to be a little more time consuming, but if your pictures are so bad because of you, then it's better to just invest the extra time. Take the time to do it. And
when I take my product photos, I always make sure that I have a way to stabilize my arms because I'm very shaky when I'm trying to do precision work.
Yes.
So I will make sure that I have a place to mount my shoulders or my elbows. That way, while I'm taking photos, I can ensure that it's only my hands that need to hold still, and I can usually keep my hands still as long as my elbows are grounded in something. But like he said, using a tripod is going to help. Yeah,
the whole I'll fix it in post mindset is a really crappy one to have because eventually it's going to get to the point if you do run fast and you're not repeating a lot of the same product, you have a lot of different listings and you're updating your stuff as you go. You're going to get overwhelmed with having to fix stuff in post. If you can get 99% of the work done from the moment you take the picture and all you have to do is maybe remove a background or adjust the saturation or something or clarity, that's the best case scenario.
I think when we do our example next week for the iPicky live stream, I'm going to do photos that are taken with a phone, photos that are taken with the Nikon Coolpix L820, which is a relatively cheap digital camera, photos taken with a DSLR, and photos taken with this camera here, which is the best camera that you can buy. This how much was this camera?
A lot.
$2,000.
It was like almost $3,000 with the lens.
So it'll be all different. So we'll basically be doing from phone to standard digital camera to DSLR to this camera.
I've got my old Pixel back there too. I could charge that up, fire a few pictures off on that. I think we've got our S10 upstairs. We've got all different qualities of camera too. We could take like the same picture with like 5 different cameras. And you've got your camera upstairs that we'll use too.
Yeah.
Make sure your camera lens is clean. Yes, absolutely. Also, if you're using a real camera and you're not sure if you're cleaning your camera lens correctly, watch some YouTube videos and make sure you're cleaning your camera lens correctly, because it's real easy to permanently mess up your camera lenses.
Don't use your T-shirt.
Never on... Anything you wouldn't use on glasses that don't have a non-scratch coating, you shouldn't use on your phone or your... Yeah, you know better. People that used to use toothpaste on their video games be like... Let's see. I sell handmade earrings, and all I can think of is to use earrings, studs, dangles. Is it okay to keep repeating them? I would repeat things the least amount possible.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can't think of any other ways to describe your products, I would take a step back and start thinking about who are they for and what makes them special. The Handmade Alpha Facebook community is linked down below. That's our free Facebook group. You're probably already a member, but if not, feel free to join. Post a photo of your products and say, hey, I'm trying to think of good keywords to describe these earrings. What keywords might you guys use to describe them? That's a really great way to get feedback, because I think that sometimes when we're looking at our own product, it's really hard to think outside the box. Sometimes what we need is an outside perspective, especially from people in your industry. So feel free to post in the Facebook group. Just post your photo and say, hey, I need some keyword ideas for this product.
I am Will Bayard, said new viewer. Just saw this on the front page. I'm sure it's Will Ballard, but I'm just trying to be fancy. Welcome, I'm stupid.
Hi, Will. How are you? Feel free to ask us Etsy questions. We kind of already finished the keyword demonstration. But
we kind of did.
You're free to rewatch the replay or ask us questions.
That's okay. Is the tracking of my listings only on the Pro membership? It's both paid memberships, I believe.
For track changes, I believe that Basic and Pro will allow you to track your listings. However, you're not going to be able to track as many with a Basic membership.
What kind of posts do you post on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn? Everything that I post everywhere else. Go follow me. But
mine's just my OnlyFans info.
Your OnlyFans. No, LinkedIn is no different than any other platform. Just keep in mind that LinkedIn is a business networking platform, so the things that I post obviously aren't going to apply to you guys because I'm a content creator. LinkedIn is going to be a little bit harder because what you guys are likely going to encounter while on LinkedIn is more people trying to network to help you with your business as opposed to people who are interested in buying from you. LinkedIn isn't really meant to sell products on. It is a place to network with other businesses. For me, I'm a business coach. I can find clients there. I can find people who, need help with their shops. For you guys, it's going to be a little bit harder. Unless you're a supply seller, then you might be able to find people to network with. I still recommend everybody have a LinkedIn. It's a good professional platform where you can learn important things. For example, you can follow Etsy and see all the people they're hiring. You can see what's up with them. They've got a really cool engineering program that I'm just now learning about through watching their posts.
I really need to get mine up and going. I have one, but it's like not been updated since I got out of the Air Force.
But yeah, for you guys, I mean, does it hurt to post there? It's not going to hurt anything, but should you invest a bunch of time into it if you're selling, I don't know, earrings? It's probably not going to be the best. Now, some of you might see results from it, and if you do, that's great. Feel free to experiment with it, but is it something that I would dedicate tons of time into? Probably not. Just maybe do it as you representing your business, but using it more as a personal, business profile where you are a business owner speaking as the CEO of your company. Feel free to follow me there. I'm on every social media platform, all of them, other than like the Clubhouse and all. I'm not on any of those, but all the main ones I'm on under Handmade Alphas or Starla. They're all linked down below in the description.
The averages are really different if I look at U.S. and want to compare them to German search, right?
They're going to definitely be different because there's less people.
For sure.
A majority of, I think it's like 86% or something ridiculous of shoppers on Etsy are from the U.S. So majority are going to be U.S.
So that means I only start changing or researching new terms once my listing starts dropping. I honestly, if you have a bestseller and it starts dropping off, I wouldn't knee-jerk reaction and start changing a bunch of stuff anyway.
Yeah, it could just be the season. It could just be the time of year. Right now is the slowest time of year, and it's going to stay slow until around September. That's why we always open Handmade Alpha Academy in June, because our students who get in June can start applying the steps and be ready for the busy holiday season.
Yep. You have just enough time to get through the majority. If you're already an established shop, especially, just enough time to get through HAA and have your shop prepared for the Black Friday rush, especially if you live in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. But changing and researching terms once your listing starts dropping, if your listings are doing well, then I wouldn't spend a bunch of time, analyzing them.
Do you plan on doing a tutorial on Google Analytics to get the best from the info that it provides?
Maybe a little later. To be perfectly honest, I'm not super familiar with Google Analytics as a whole. I did do a video on how to connect your Google Analytics to your Etsy shop, and then I also have a link in that video to Pam Duthie's video that teaches you how to connect your Google Analytics to your eRank account. Because what you can do then is eRank will pull the most important information from your Google Analytics and show it to you. Right from your eRank dashboard. That way you don't have to deal with all the confusing side of Google Analytics. You can just log into eRank and have the keywords that you're being found for right there. I would need a little bit more time with Google Analytics, though. He knows way more about Google Analytics than I do.
And it's still a limited knowledge.
Yeah.
Because Google Analytics is it's kind of subjective sometimes. It depends on what you're looking at it for. All right, is there an API to import and sync Etsy listings on your own website? As of right now, I don't believe so. What I was more speaking of with doing research into the future, a while back, maybe about a month, 2 months, you guys might remember as a change to the Etsy ads program, there was a clause in there talking about third parties being able to list Etsy listings on their own websites, and that they weren't very clear on what that would actually entail, like how much of the listing would they see, how would that affect reviews, all that kind of stuff. So I'm assuming that because they're going to allow third parties to post Etsy listings to the websites, if that's even still in the clause, they might have removed it, that there's a potential that you might be able to use the same API that they're going to have to use to pull your Etsy listings. However they're going to do that, I don't even know if it's going to be an API or just like HTML pulls. But if they're able to do it, there might be a way that we can do it. And if we can do it, then you might be able to sell your own listings on your own website. But all of the rest of it, even with that, will still be within your shop. So the sale itself will be in your shop. Like it would be, they would buy it on your website, and then it would redirect to your Etsy shop itself. All the reviews would still go there. Customer support would still be there. So once I find out, you guys will find out.
Musa had asked, what about those of us who already bought HAA? Anything that we add and the update, you get that included. You don't ever have to pay for any of the updates we make to HAA again.
Yeah, and any of the like smaller courses and things that we add in the future, small things, will probably be included in HAA and will be included for students that buy HAA and for students that have already purchased HAA. Anything that requires like an exorbitant amount of anything that requires hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of effort that would also be like a several $1,000 product probably won't be included, just because that
if it doesn't
obviously.
I was going to say, if it doesn't have to do with Etsy, then it's probably going to be a separate thing. But the website, I think, would be a good complement to those who have an Etsy shop.
I do too, especially since we already teach people to build a redirect from their own. Mm-hmm. Is there any benefit to leaving Etsy ads on just for the search term data?
No.
Nope.
You're spending money on data that you could get for free using Google Analytics. Absolutely not. I would definitely watch my How to Set Up Google Analytics for Your Etsy Shop video, because you could save a lot of money by doing that.
Is that a little bit painful to buy an Apple computer? Yeah, it hurts me deeply.
He hates Apple.
Apple is very anti-consumer, and I'm not a big fan of it. But unfortunately, a lot of you guys prefer Apple, and they are kind of user-friendly. And I perform music live, and having an Apple computer is just better because for some reason they all work better on Apple. So anyway, what about those of... Oh, yeah, you already read that. Shh. Let's see. GoDaddy's getting worse. Sorry, I did that. No, you're fine. You're fine.
She's sorry that she did that, is what she's saying. She's sorry that she used it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love the business, the couples boot camp thing. My husband is very supportive, but would love to know how to support me. Yeah, we're gonna be redoing it because we were a lot younger and it's not very good. Right
It was
now.
so cringy. It
was
like,
very cringy.
I don't like re-listening to it because he was not good at script reading yet, so it was just I wasn't a fan of how that recording went.
I always stop breathing before I snap a picture. Don't do that too much. That actually causes strain. If you know anybody that like shoots, your hands are the steadiest at the bottom of a breath out. So like when you're breathing out and you're getting ready to reach that point where you're about to go up, not holding your breath on the breath out, but your hands are the most steady at the bottom of a breath. And technically at the top of a breath, but immediately you start to strain. Anyway,
Air Force marksman over here teaching you how to
everybody's got their opinions, but I think the bottom of a breath is the best time. Let's see. I struggle to not repeat words. Should I never repeat a single word like planner? I think we've gone over that a few times.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt you. It's just keyword space that you're using up unnecessarily.
Charlie said 5 on basic for track changes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Basic does let you track listings because I just went in there and it had that compatibility. Yeah.
Capability.
I had a Nikon Coolpix, then I got a Nikon P9500. I don't know off the top. I'd have to look at a spec sheet to tell you.
I love the Nikon Coolpix L820. It's still the camera that I like for close-up photographs.
Got to consider that when you're looking at a photograph on your computer screen, when it's completely blown up and you're editing it, is going to be completely different than the slightly larger than thumbnail size picture. If it's a little blurry here, zoom it down on your screen, stick it up in a corner, and see what it looks like about like this. Most people aren't going to be blowing up the picture. It's still better the clearer you can get it, obviously, but yeah. Good idea to follow Etsy on LinkedIn. Yes, it is. You'll be a lot less angry at them spending money and asking for higher fees when you see how many hundreds of people they're hiring.
Oh, they've got so many new people. Their support team is going to be so much better as soon as they get these people trained. They have hired like last I saw they still had 142 positions open. They're hiring tons of people every single day, and all they got to do is get these people trained, and then our support staff is going to be better.
Hey guys, did you recommend any professional camera for product photography? On HAA, I have a section that I'm going to be redoing. It's like my tech guide. It's not all encompassing at this point, and it's my recommendations based on the spec sheets. I'm not going to go and buy like 10 several $1,000 cameras, to actually test them. I can recommend what we use. She uses a Nikon Coolpix L820. You can get that for less than $300 on most websites. I think now you can even get it for just over $100 if you buy it used.
Yeah, it's not called the Nikon Coolpix L820, but you can find a used one. They've upgraded to the next version. You can't buy it new anymore, but if you search Nikon Coolpix L820, you should get some suggestions. And if the number is different, like Nikon Coolpix whatever L850, I don't know, then that's likely just the newest version. But it's my favorite camera for close-up product photography.
Yeah. When you find high search volume, low competition keywords, and they're all repetitive except flower clip art, floral clip art, leaves clip art, do you need to keep repeating clip art each time? Makes sense. You don't necessarily, unless you're trying to get an exact match for those terms.
You do not have to repeat any words.
No.
You do not have to. Etsy will see them all the same.
Can you buy a Herman Miller chair that would fit a person under 5 foot tall and under 90 pounds? That would work. If you go over to their website, this is the Herman Miller Aaron. This is a totally separate thing that I had to buy third party. If you go over to their website, they have a size guide on pretty much all of their chairs. And it's AERON for this particular chair. Check the size guide. It has this like gray square thing that show like your height and weight. If your height and weight doesn't fit in there, I would get with their customer support. They have amazing customer support and ask them what you should do. These chairs are extremely expensive, but well worth the money in my opinion.
Especially
I have had almost no back pain since I bought this chair.
I was going to say, especially if you have a back condition. He has degenerative discs, so the expensive chair is an absolute must for someone who has to be in a chair all day.
At your size, the smallest size is probably going to be the best option, but even then, they have a thing you measure from your hip bone to the crease in the back of your knee. That way you make sure that because it's a plastic rim around the edge of the chair, just like it is here around your legs. And if your legs are too short, you're going to have a hard piece of plastic digging into the back of your knee, and it's not going to be comfortable. So if that doesn't work, I would look into some more gaming chair companies. Those might be better. At your weight, I mean, any kind of chair is going to work as long as it's comfortable for you. Let's see. I was in the Air Cadets as a kid. I'm blind in my left eye and I had to leave. I got too depressed. I wanted to fly in the military. I'm in Canada, by the way. Yeah, I wanted to be a pilot too, and nobody told me that you had to be an officer until I was already working on it. So,
Let you sit back a little bit.
no, because I can't read.
Oh, okay. You're like,
The text is starting to go together because I'm sick.
oh, okay.
We're about done anyway.
Yeah,
We're getting to the end.
We're towards the end of your questions.
Etsy shipping profile question. I offer free shipping Canada-wide, and I offer a code for people to use to get free shipping, but it shows expedited shipping for the buyers, and it's not. Thoughts? I have no idea.
Not even the slightest clue.
Yeah, get with Etsy support.
Yeah, definitely get with Etsy support because I have no idea.
Etsy 360 plugin used to be able to replicate Etsy listings and people can buy from the website, but earlier this year it stopped. Oh,
They might
See, I
have
didn't
pulled
know
back
that.
an API key.
Any suggestion, and do you guys suggest using Etsy ads? If they work for you, they work for you. If you don't, you don't. I wish we could say more than that, but unfortunately Etsy ads are extremely unpredictable.
Yeah, Etsy ads are only going to work as well as your products are going to do in the marketplace and as well as your SEO already is. Etsy ads are not a guarantee. You can't take something that nobody wants, put ad money behind it, and make people want it, unfortunately. So turn them on. If they work, fantastic. Don't blow a bunch of money. If you notice that you are spending more with your Etsy ads than you are making, it's probably a good idea to pull back on those ads. But the only way that you're going to know for sure is to experiment. And you'll know right away if you're not seeing any results from them. I always recommend making sure that you put your ad budget behind your best sellers, though, because obviously you want to put your money behind the products that are already doing well, because those are a sure thing.
We did have someone ask if there is other coaches materials within the course that all that material will be getting removed. We don't work with any other, as of right now, we don't work with any other coaches because we don't like a lot of the practices that a lot of other coaches use. And that's all that I'll say about that. We can't verify the validity of the material that other coaches use anymore. We're not the kind of people where we snoop and check on the kind of material that those people put out. There's not a lot more that I can say about that without
It's just us.
being kind of crappy. It's going to be switching to just being us, and any material going forward will be us, unless it's somebody that we know for a fact that we can verify is doing all that they need to do for their people.
Yeah, it's just us.
Just us. Can type sample phrases into the Etsy search bar to get keyword ideas, or are those too personalized? I wouldn't use. You can, in a certain way, keyword optimize using the search bar on Etsy, but it's unpredictable and it changes with the season and you don't get direct results. So it's going to show you a lot of search terms that people are searching for, but
Not
you
searching for it. It's based on items that are for sale. It's based on what Etsy knows that they have available. What they're trying to do with
trend data.
That search bar is not meant for sellers. It's not a tool for sellers. It is a tool for people who are shopping to know what is available to purchase. Just like when you go to a grocery store, every aisle is labeled by what type of products are in that aisle.
Right.
It doesn't mean that everybody is buying, I don't know, food from the Latin American section. It just means that that's what they have available.
Right.
You can
and,
use...
And like, it's just like I was trying to say, like if you were to go in there and you were to type slime and it gives you a bunch of recommendations for things on slime, like what we did here today. Yeah, it's going to give you recommendations for things that are selling, but all you're seeing is things that people are selling and searching for. You're not going to see how many people are selling those kinds of products. You're not going to see what the competition looks like. You're not going to see how many people are actually clicking on the things that they're recommending. So technically, yeah, you could do it, but you're going to get a significantly more unpredictable result from it. You might see some shops that say that you should do that. Some people have had great success doing that, but I think there's a lot more luck to that, and it's different from industry to industry. I think using a tool is best. Whether or not you choose to use eRank or another tool, it doesn't matter. Use a tool. You can hammer in a nail with a rock, but it's better to use a hammer.
Yeah.
If you sell something niche, any advice on including niche custom terms that don't show up in eRank versus broad match terms?
If it's something that people aren't searching for,
then they're not searching for it.
Then they're not searching for it, right? I mean, you can always experiment, because sometimes if a term is super niche, we just won't have data on it. But ultimately, the only way that you're going to know for sure is if you test it. If it's too niche, even if it accurately describes what the product is, you're probably going to have to think of other ways to describe it. Like I always say, I could rank and be the only product ranking on the page for floop-de-doop-de-dee-da, But odds are, if nobody is typing in the words floop-de-doop-de-dee-dah on Etsy and searching for floop-de-doop-de-dee-dah, it doesn't matter if I'm ranking for it. Nobody's searching for it, so I'm not going to sell it. So I would really try to buckle down on terms that people are searching for that complement whatever your unique term is. Like I said, the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, linked down below, is a really great way to get feedback from other sellers on keywords that maybe you could use to better describe that item and to keyword optimize it, because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
We're at the end of our questions. Musa said, thank you. You're my favorite person of 2122. You're so helpful, generous, and care so much about... we just want you guys to succeed. We don't make enough money off of doing this YouTube stuff for it to even be worth it financially. We only do this because we like to make sure that you guys are succeeding or doing your best to succeed. So
business and Etsy SEO, it's my jam. That's all I do. It's literally the only thing that I do. So...
yep. Thank you for today.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm sorry I've been so sick. I appreciate you guys hanging out, though. Let's see. I was in an Etsy course earlier this year, and the coach suggested I fix all my listings SEO at once. Oh, my God. No. You guys need to be really... here's the thing, okay? There's this trend right now of people who are making their money on YouTube, right?
Yes, they're very, very, very good at clickbaiting people into clicking on their things.
Right, because they use terms like... rank on page 1 of Etsy with this SEO hack.
How I made $100,000 selling this one specific thing on Etsy because I got really lucky.
They make their YouTube videos say these things because they know people will click on it
and they do. Look at them. Some of them have only been on YouTube for a year and get 60,000 frickin' views per video.
And you have to consider
why?
Yeah, because they're making money on these videos. Mm-hmm. We, for complete transparency here, we make around $1,000 a month on YouTube. That's how much YouTube pays us for.
It's not a lot, but it's not a little either.
Yeah, it's how we are able to buy a nice camera and have a nice microphone.
And it's just now since like February that it's been that much. Up until that point, it was like $400 a month. It wasn't that much money.
Yeah, so basically people do clickbaity titles and things, and they don't always give you guys the best advice. No. All they want is to make sure that as many people as possible watch their videos by, posing as having some magical secret hack. Mm-hmm. They say, oh, I know how the Etsy algorithm works, or, oh, I have the secret to get on page 1. That's not, nobody has a secret to get on page 1.
There is no secret.
There is no secret.
It's an algorithm. It's an algorithm. There is no way to, it's not something that is publicly available for you guys to view. The thing is, what you have to look at when it comes to coaches, and we're Etsy coaches. We sell a product. That's how we make a living, right? That's how we eat every day. But difference is, from the ground up, that's all we've ever done. We weren't influencers before we started doing this. If you go back and you look at a lot of especially the people that have popped up on YouTube in the last year to year and a half that have already triple, quadruple the amount of subscribers that we have, almost every single one of those people was an influencer in a different industry before they moved into this one. They're moving into a new industry because they've reached a glass ceiling in their old industry and they're not making money off of it anymore, and they can start making money off of it in a new industry. Be careful with who you follow with coaches. If it's somebody that's popped up in the last year and they've got like 60, 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000+ subscribers and they haven't even been on YouTube for a year, it's because they're not famous because of what they've done for the Etsy community. They're famous in another industry already, and they're bringing those people along to them. It's an artificial amount of people.
You just have to be really careful, guys. There are 2 coaches who work for eRank, me and Pam Duthie. In terms of people who say that they know exactly how Etsy works, no, they don't, because even Anthony Wolf, CEO of eRank, doesn't know how Etsy works. He constantly has to email them to say, what the heck is up? Why is this way? And I know that it gets hard when we've got all these super cutesy little bubblegum coaches who are absolutely adorable, and they talk with so much confidence and conviction, and it sounds like they know exactly what they're talking about because they speak with confidence. The problem is anybody can do that. I can get on camera and tell you right now that I'm the CEO of YouTube, and I can say it with a straight face.
We used to be like that.
Yeah.
Her, you go back 3 years, all of her videos were super bubbly and bubblegummy. Even our course, we're re-recording it because it's kind of like that. Because we didn't know better. But we didn't know better. We don't want to be those.
The bubblegummy thing aside, though, you just need to be really careful with who you listen to and where they get their information from. Because the thing is, a lot of the results, even if they have a shop that has like 100,000 sales, if they're just regurgitating the things that they've experienced through their own shop, what they're telling you isn't going to necessarily translate over to yours, because
No.
they're listing quality scores and the things that they experience in their shop due to their high customer and marketplace experience score isn't something that's transferable. It's not
Yes.
something that you can replicate. There are very few things when it comes to Etsy success that can be replicated. And I know that maybe it's not going to get us the most views, and it's not going to get us, the most YouTube monetization money, and it's not going to get us as many subscribers.
Yes. But it guarantees that you're getting the most transparent and honest information possible. We have the lucky benefit of her having run a successful Etsy shop. We work for eRank, so we have all of the insider information that we could possibly get from Etsy as soon as it comes out. I mean, we've worked with how many shops now on a direct level that have gotten to over 6 figures. So we have the unique experience of actually being there. And when you see a lot of these people, they say, "Oh, well, I started this new shop and I made $50,000 in my first month." It's like, yeah, well, it's kind of obvious when you've got 150,000 Instagram followers that you're going to be able to make 50 grand in a month selling planner accessories to a bunch of people that want planners, So just be careful, be smart when you listen to people, and just know that we're trying to be as transparent as we can. We don't lie. We don't try to fluff our information with crap that we can't prove.
There are great YouTube Etsy coaches. Nancy Badillo, love Nancy. Nancy's fantastic. Nancy's a great person to follow. We've got Jacqueline, who's in HAA. I've been talking to Jacqueline a lot because I was thinking about helping her with some marketing she's got an email template series that people can buy and use for their own email list. I'm like, that's something that the alphas would love. We just make sure that we work with people who we believe in, who we trust, and who we can verify.
Yeah, and we're not going to blast anybody in particular. And it's not that other coaches don't have useful information, because of course they do. They're coaches because they've gotten good results doing what they do. Just remember that not everything that they do is going to translate into every other industry. If somebody sells planner supplies, like a Planner Kate were to just jump on and start making an Etsy, like how to sell on Etsy YouTube channel, she'd probably do very, very well very quickly. But if you're selling holiday wreaths, her results aren't going to translate over to you, if that makes sense. But that's enough. We're not trying to rib on other coaches. Everybody's got their opinions on how things work. Just know that we try to be as transparent as possible, and we'll answer everything within like legal ability.
All right, let's see. Where?
I'm having issues with the combination of keys on my computer to clean up unwanted background shadows or colors in pictures like you did using iPicky in your picture editing video. We're going to be doing picture editing next weekend, so just make sure you tune in for that. Maybe we can try to help you a little bit more with that.
Yeah, during the Friday bean next week.
Let's see. If Google Analytics does not show any keywords on eRank traffic stat from Etsy, does this mean any of my keywords don't work? GA setup good. Checked with Anthony Wolf.
You might want to see, I don't know, because I can't see your data, but feel free to send an email to support@erank.com and ask the team, and maybe they can help you out and look a little further in depth with it. Martin.
Selling mugs, I always get eRank results that come back like unknown, 10,347 searches, click CTR competition, and one of the keywords, for example, is bunny mug. No data?
Yeah, so basically that just means that eRank doesn't have data on that term. We don't try to guess. We don't try to
We don't fluff numbers.
Yeah, we don't fluff the numbers. The way that data companies like eRank work, and every other Etsy, SEO, any SEO company, is they purchase data from a third party that takes large panels. The more money that a company pays, the more data that they can get. eRank just happens to be the best because we can afford to get the most data because we are the biggest SEO company for Etsy, which basically means that our data sets are the largest, which is why, you see such big numbers. If it says that it is unknown, it just means that we don't have any information on that particular data set. Keep checking. Maybe in a future month, our data provider will give us information on that. But out of the millions and millions of people that we panel for these large data sets that are purchased, it basically just means that nobody within our data set searched for your specific term.
Doesn't mean nobody's searching for it. It's just not within our data set.
Exactly. So feel free to experiment with it. But I wouldn't use that as like your superstar keyword. I would make sure that you also toss in a couple other keywords.
Because if it's not in the data set, there probably wasn't a large volume of people searching for it. Do you have any marketing psychology materials you can recommend to look up? A ton.
Yeah, and Sharon had said that I just shared my favorite books in a list in a recent email. You're in a specific email list, though. Not everybody gets the same emails on the same days. That is my Trello board for the books that I recommend, the marketing psychology books that I recommend. But off the top of my head, the top books that I recommend every business owner reads are Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. It's very short. It'll only take you like an hour to read. Start there. That's going to be more for your personal mindset, but it's a very useful book that I think everybody should read. Next up is Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. That one is probably the book that has helped me the most. Next is going to be How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That book was written in the 30s, but the lessons that you hear from it are going to stick with you forever. It stands the test of time. I also like How We Decide by 𝔸𝕬𝕚𝕚𝕟, I think. It has ice cream cones on the front. And the last one that I recommend is The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz-Lowe. The Paradox of Choice is one of those books that it sticks with me everywhere. It talks about how the more choices we have in society, the more unhappy we become. But that translates over really, really well to marketing because it helps you to narrow down your focus. Because if you provide too much, you might not necessarily be getting the results you want because you might be causing what is known as, overwhelm and fatigue for those shoppers.
Yep. I'm late to the party. Added HTV transfer to my t-shirt shop. What category do I use? I don't even know what you're talking about.
I have no idea, Jacqueline. Sorry.
I have no idea what you're asking for right now. I'm sorry. Have you tried Affinity Photo or heard of it? I haven't.
I've never heard of that one.
And Metal Eye said An Organized Mind by Dr. Levitin.
Yeah, the Organized Mind. That's another good one. That one's a snore fest to get through. Very
Most psychology books are kind of a snore fest.
The other ones I recommended, How We Decide is great. How to Win Friends and Influence People is great. Predictably Irrational is great. And The Paradox of Choice, all great. I was fully interested. The Organized Mind, great book, snore fest. It's hard to get through, but it's very, very good if you can power through it.
All right. We're almost at the 2 o'clock mark. We're going to go ahead and cut it. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe down below. Click the like button if you liked it. All applicable links and everything are linked down below. HAA opens in just over 2 weeks. If you want to be on the list and get notified when that opens, make sure you join the email list down below. It doesn't obligate you to buy the course, but it does ensure that you get notified when it opens.
And you get a $1,000 discount.
And you get a $1,000 discount, yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, look out. The next video should be coming out on Sunday. Next student interview will be out on Sunday. We have another video coming out on Tuesday. Student interview next Thursday. And then we'll have another Friday being next Friday where we'll be talking about editing photos.
Ooh, this Tuesday's video is going to be six-figure Etsy sellers. Some students from HAA talking about the things that they do in their Etsy shops to make six figures.
Yes, and there are quite a few six-figure sellers in HAA.
Yes, I think we only have time for 4 in the video, though.
Yeah, it's editing videos takes a lot of effort. But
yeah.
We love you guys, and we will see you